New York City is the greatest city in the whole world. Wrong!
I don't believe in supernatural. I don't think your Facebook posts are factual. Crap you say makes me want to smash you all. So everybody sing along. Everything you know is wrong. Everything you know is wrong. Everything you know is wrong.
All right, hi, I'm Jesse PS. This is Everything You Know Is Wrong. You can go ahead and hit dislike below if you're a true New Yorker. Tonight's show is all about New York City and why it is not the greatest city in the world, despite all of the music you've ever heard. And I'm going to tell you why in 6 easy steps. Number 1, don't believe the hype. That's right, all the music, all of the television shows, all of the movies that have convinced white girls around the nation that New York City is the destination of their choice. They're absolutely lying to you. It's a hellhole. Frank Sinatra was right. If you make it here, you'll make it anywhere. But the problem is, you will never, ever, ever make it here. I'll tell you the one that gets me the most. That Jay-Z and Alicia Keys song, Empire State of Mind. Here we go. In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. You know the song. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. The sentence itself doesn't make sense. Concrete jungle. I sat there for an hour trying to parse this sentence. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. Am I going crazy here? Is this me? Or is this them? Jay-Z, Alicia Keys, please explain to me. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. The thing is if you really break it down, all songs about New York, all things about New York, they never tell you why it's the greatest city. They just tell you it is. Now imagine New Yorkers. I know a few of you out there are probably New Yorkers watching this and just getting so mad right now. You're about to close the video, but before you do, hear me out. You grew up in New York City. A lot of you never left. Some people never even leave the city just to vacation. And you grow up being told over and over again it's the greatest city in the world. So of course you're going to believe it. But there's way better places out there. And I'll tell you why. One of the biggest reasons for me is number 2, pay more, get less. You will pay so much more money living here than you will anywhere else in this country. You cannot get an apartment here for less than $1,000 a month. Less than $1,000 a month does not exist. You go on Craigslist, you try to find a nice place, the ad looks nice. I swear to God, every single person with an apartment for rent on Craigslist is a fucking serial killer. They're Jigsaw from the movie Saw, and they've set up some sort of elaborate labyrinthine style disgusting home for you to maybe move into the closet and pay $3,000 a month. That's not unusual to pay $3,000 a month for an apartment, something you'll never own. You're renting. I went into an apartment. This is true. I walk into the kitchen, which, by the way, is the first room you walk into. In the kitchen was the shower and toilet, not blocked off from anything else. Right next to the fridge and the stove, the toilet. You're meant to take shits right there where you eat, literally shitting where you eat, and you will pay out the wazoo for the privilege. The cost of living, I actually looked up the cost of living. I thought, well, what's a comparative city? Obviously, the next choice would be Los Angeles, California, right? In the different categories of things, you got consumer prices, rent prices, grocery prices. They range from 29.59% higher to 62.25% higher than LA. Let's say you want to go out for a burger and fries. That's going to cost you $15. $15 for a burger and fries. And the biggest problem is number 3, commuter nightmare. The public transportation in New York City is, to be fair, some of the best in the world when it comes to the fact that it runs all day. There's never a time where the subway system closes. The buses are always running. But it's the worst service. And going back to the pay more to get less part of it, you will pay so much for the privilege to ride the subway. In the past 10 years, just 10 years, the price to ride the subway has gone up $40. From 1998 to 2015, it's been a 65% increase in price. Like even if you accounted for inflation, it would still be like 42%. It's terrible service. There's not a single New York, even the people born and bred in New York will tell you, the service here is terrible. They never repair anything. It's disgusting. I literally took this picture today. I don't know if you can see it or not, but what you're looking at here is this is where you're meant to stand to wait for the train, and it has just rusted out. That brown film you see at the bottom of the screen there, that is rust, currently wet rust. That wall is permanently damaged. It will never be repaired. They don't care. Why would they bother? They're going to get your money anyway. They're just going to hike up the price again next year. When I first moved to New York, I moved to New York in 2009. When I first moved here, a 30-day pass to get on the subway, 30-day pass, was $89. Today, in 2015, the pass costs $116. In that short amount of time, they've hiked it up that much. And you try to avoid the subway system. Most people aren't going to drive here. So let's say you want to take the bus. Well, hey, good luck. Good luck taking the bus and getting where you want to go. Good luck understanding the bus system without having been here. If you aren't from here, you don't know where that bus is going. And sorry, ladies, if you happen onto one of the Jew buses. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jesse. What does that mean? Are you being a racist? There's literally a group of buses in New York City that are run by the Hasids, the Hasidic Jews, and they refuse to allow women to ride in the front of the bus. This is happening today in the present. Men and women must sit separately on these buses. They are normal buses, though. Otherwise, they are public transportation. Your Metro card will work on them. Look out, though. And you're never going to take a taxi. You can't afford it. As I said, pay more, get less. But if you do, the taxi drivers are all liars. Dirty, stinking, filthy liars. What they do is they'll get you in the car, they'll take you to your destination, and then when you go to take out your credit card to pay for your taxi, they'll go, oh, no, machine down, machine broken. I know, I'm doing an accent. Look out. Sorry, surprise. It ain't an old Brooklyn guy driving the taxis anymore. It ain't like the movies. They're all immigrants. They don't understand. This is a thing. Taxi drivers no longer know how to get you there. It used to be. I've been in a New York City where you could go, yeah, I'm trying to go to the Waldorf Astoria. And they'd be like, okay. And they would just take you there. They knew where everything was. They used to know where everything was. Now these guys barely know English. And you say, yeah, I'm trying to get to the corner of 8th Avenue and 25th Street. And they go, okay, how do you get there? They literally ask you how to get there. We live in a time of GPS. This shouldn't be a problem. You get there. And you pay with a card, and they go, no, it's broken. They don't want to lose that fee. You know, there's a fee every time you swipe it, so they lie to you and tell you the card machine's broken. It's not true. Don't let them do that to you. That's illegal. Eventually, you're taught to be a shitty person. I mean, that's just the case because you're living in terrible filth. That's the other thing about New York City. It's fucking filthy here. It's disgusting. It really is. It stinks. Get on a train. Go from somewhere nice, not a city, just somewhere out in the country. Go from a nice country place, get on a train, and then ride directly into the middle of Manhattan and walk out. Take a deep breath. I notice it specifically when I leave the city. When I go back home, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. When I go back there, I notice, oh, wait a second. Breathing it doesn't hurt me. You don't notice it while you're here. You get used to it. Everything fucking is covered in garbage. The garbage is just thrown out into the street. Everybody litters. I mean, this is the city where the cutest thing that happened in recent history is Pizza Rat. And there's another reason that the subway system sucks. This is a subway. This is where you have to wait for a train. And this is what we think of as cute here. By the way, I just want to go back to the trains for a second. All the trains here are categorized by letters or numbers. So we have, a Q train or an N train, so on and so forth. And one time they got rid of one of the trains and they replaced it with another one. They replaced it with a different letter. This is true. This is a real picture. This is not Photoshop. This is the result. FML. Fuck my life. That's how the trains feel. Everybody, of course, immediately took notice of this. And they had to rearrange all the letters. They had to take down all the signage. They were getting made fun of for this shit. Because they're the worst service. But anyway, back to being filthy. Chinatown. If you want to smell the worst smell of your life, just step 1 foot into Chinatown. An entire section of the city is just a nuclear wasteland of garbage. I one time saw a woman walking down the street in Chinatown. Now, I'm not going to say what kind of lady this was. It doesn't matter. But this lady was walking with her kid, and her kid had a Coke bottle in his hand, an empty Coke bottle, and he's just banging it on shit. And I see the woman. She finally gets frustrated with the kid. She stops, she grabs him, and she goes, well, I don't know what she said. All right. She says something along the lines of, hey, stop it, but in Chinese. She grabs his arm. She's like, no. And the kid's, I think she's saying, hey, kid, stop it. I think she's being like a good mom. Thank you. She's finally treating this like it's her child. And then I swear to God, she takes the Coke bottle and she shows it to him, and then she throws it on the ground. She basically spikes it like she just made a fucking touchdown. And then she was teaching her kid to litter. That's how it is here, especially in Chinatown. They're taught to litter. Litter is everywhere. One of the biggest things that makes me so angry about the love of New York, though, is the myth that it is a melting pot. This is not a melting pot. This is not a place where cultures come to collide and commingle. Every neighborhood in New York City is totally segregated. I mean, Chinatown is an obvious example. It says right there, there's a type of person living here, right? But it's not a melting pot. It's more like a TV dinner. Every little piece of food has its own compartment, and sure, every once in a while, some of the peas fall over into the mashed potatoes, but the mashed potatoes' parents aren't happy about it. They don't like it. Nobody's happy when the mayo ends up in the brownie compartment. I mean, we have people complaining about gentrification. The very idea of gentrification is the melting pot. That's mingling. That's, hey, there's white people moving in with the minority people that live here, whatever color they may be. And that's looked at as a bad thing. People want to be segregated in New York. Spend 1 month in New York City, and you will, not only will you realize it's not a melting pot, you'll probably walk away a little bit more racist than when you came. I'm from the South. I'm from the capital of the Confederacy. We basically invented slavery. And I think I'm more racist because I live here. Because nobody wants you around. If you're not the same color, they want you in a different place. Last on my list here, one of the biggest problems with New York City, and one of the things that makes it terrible for both the people who grew up here, let's be fair, and the people who moved here. Number 6, infantilism. Infantilism is, of course, the prolonging the childhood into adulthood of America that is it's happening everywhere. All adults are acting like kids nowadays, but it's particularly bad in New York City. I mean, we're talking about a city where most adults don't have driver's licenses. 25 to 40-year-old people, no driver's license. That's common. Absolutely common here. And I understand, you don't need a car here. You got public transport. I mean, who doesn't want to hang out with fucking Pizza Rat? It seems like you would just get the license just to have the experience. You don't have to own a car to learn how to drive one. So you've got people who never learned these basic adult things. Something I've noticed is New York kids, New Yorkers, they will live with their parents until their 30s here because rent is so goddamn high. Back to number 2, pay more, get less. They will just keep living with their parents until they're forced out of the house because they get some dumb bitch pregnant. And then you've got the white kids moving in here, moving into Williamsburg, the hipsters, these Williamsburg hipsters, and they're prolonging everything because, let's face it, any white girl moving into the city here, any of these hipsters, they're paid for by their parents. It's girls. You ever seen the show Girls on HBO? It is that. Definitely the girls, a lot of the dudes, the hipster dudes, their parents, they're trust fund kids. They're choosing this sort of grungy, crust punk lifestyle. You know, it's another way to keep that childhood going. So you've got an entire city where no one can afford anything. Everything is filthy and no one wants to grow up. Who's going to take care of it? Who's going to make it here? If you can make it here, you can make it on fucking Mars. I hate New York. All right. Well, that does it for everything you know is wrong. We've got a podcast called Pod Awful. I hope you'll check it out. You can subscribe to it on iTunes by clicking the link below. You can also subscribe to all of our videos here on the channel by clicking this link that says subscribe on YouTube. I hope you do. If you'd like to help us out, keep our show going, and get bonus content, you want to see more stuff like this, or even better stuff, super secret stuff, we've got something called the Pizza Fund. It's our Patreon account, and it helps keep the lights on here. You can't do all this stuff for free, right? So if you'd like to help us out and get extra stuff for it, go to podawful.com/support and join the Pizza Fund. Next time on the show, I'm going to talk about why normal is not a bad word. So look, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, if you want to try to school me on something, I say go ahead and try it, buddy, because I bet I can prove you wrong. All right, that's it. Bye.
Thanks, pod people. Head over to podawful.com/iTunes and subscribe to us on iTunes. We're live every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern at podawful.tv. Love the show? Keep it going by donating to the Pizza Fund. podawful.com/support. Help keep Jesse from finally ending it all. The show never ends on Facebook. Join our group at podawful.com/group. Watch all our videos on YouTube. Subscribe at youtube.com/podawful. Hey, stupid girls. We're on all your favorite social media platforms. The name is always Pod Awful. See you on Instagram or whatever. And anything else you need is at podawful.com.